My God. Is this better than the Black Bay 58? Yes! Welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Today we're going to talk about one of the hottest divers on the market right now, because thanks to subscriber Gareth, he's lent one in for me to review. But first, we need to talk about the name. Pelagos is the ancient Greek word for sea. Quite apt for a diver. A lot of YouTubers out there are pronouncing it Pelagos, which just makes me think of a pelican. Quite a comedic bird. Now, my mum's sisters emigrated to Greece in the 70s, and if their Greek husbands heard me pronounce it as Pelagos, they'd probably slap me in the face with a pelican. So I will be pronouncing it Pelagos, as it should be, and if you hear anyone else in the YouTube world that pronounces it Pelagos, give them a reply in the comments below of their shows. Pelican. Okay, let me show you the Pelagos, 42. What a beautifully tooly diver this is. If I was a diver, which I'm not, I'd want a big, manly, legible dial dive watch to keep me nice and safe underwater. Unfortunately though, I don't do a lot of diving, so having a dive watch that can reach depths of 500 meters and having a helium escape valve for when I never go saturation diving is a little bit pointless. And because of those features, the watch is very thick. My 6.5-inch wrist would no way be able to take the thickness of this watch. Coupled with the 42 diameter, I'm definitely one of those in the Black Bay 58 camps. But 4 months ago, Tudor releases a brand new watch that for all intents and purposes is the Tudor Submariner we've all been waiting for. Now for me, this has all the makings of the perfect dive watch I've been searching for a decade. But is this new Pelagos 39 my new all-time favourite watch? Well, there's only one way to find out. Are you titanium ready? Let's go! So here it is, the Pelagos 39mm, and I want one. What a magnificent looking watch this is. But flipping heck is it light. I was not ready for how light this watch was going to be. It's about 40 grams lighter than my 58. That's about the same weight as 2 AA batteries or an average to small size egg. I am not used to this at all. I don't own a titanium watch, and this will definitely take a bit of getting used to. Though you can't feel the weight of this watch, you can tell by the dark grey it's definitely titanium. There is not one single polished part on this case, making it really tooly. I haven't twisted anything yet, but I know that bezel and crown is going to be absolutely magic. Gotta love those little crown guards as well. Definitely reminds me of the old 5513 Submariner, and I love how that sunray ceramic insert is just playing with the light already. First impressions? Yes, I really want one. Quick spec check! So the case is 39mm in diameter, but that beautiful teethy bezel protrudes over the case, making this more of a 40mm watch. Will it look like a 39 on my wrist? 47mm lug to lug. It's 11.8mm thick. It's a millimeter thinner than my Black Bay 58. This is due to the flat sapphire crystal protecting the dial and not a domed one like my 58. The annoying measurement on this watch, 21mm lug width. I don't quite understand what Tudor were doing here. I haven't really taken the Black Bay 58 off the bracelet, and I very much doubt I'd ever do it with this one. So a beautiful chunky screw down crown at 3 o'clock, and together with the usual screw down case back you get with Tudors, this watch has a water resistance of 200 meters. Right, we have got to talk about this bezel because it is magnificent. 60 click ceramic ball bearings. Let's see how it does in the WBF. Hi, I'm Kurt Santana, and welcome to the World Bezeling Federation, dedicated to find the best bezel on a watch. 3 rounds: the look, the grip, and the fidgetability. Let's get a bezeling! And oh my God, I'm just glad I wore my best undies, because we could be going out on our first date. Beautiful teeth on that titanium bezel, followed by the sun voice of the insert. This thing protrudes over the case, almost as if to say, come and twist me. And onto the grip. How much force do I need to put in before the first ratchet? And with the ceramic ball bearings, this watch is an absolute dream. I may ask the doctor to base my new prosthetic hip on this mechanism and onto the fidgetability. How much do I want to twist this bezel? Morning, noon, and night. And this ain't just a weekend away. I could be fiddling for a whole week. The best bezel I've ever witnessed, twisted in my entire career. And that is why it sits proudly on the Hall of Fame leaderboard. So long, bezel lovers. Super!
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
So it's official. This is the greatest bezel I've ever twisted on a watch, with the ratcheting being ever so slightly stiffer and the grip being twice as good. This is definitely better than my Black Bay 58, and that's hard for me to say. Onto the bracelet, and yeah, I really like it. It's fully titanium, screw links, solid end links. However, it does feel light and gives that feeling of the vintage Submariner bracelets. The clasp is huge. It's almost as long as the lug to lug of the watch. This is down to, let's face it, a pretty pointless diver's extension. The percentage of people that will buy this watch and go diving
is about that much.
Take that extension away, but you cannot complain at this new T-fit clasp. On the fly, 8mm of micro adjust, and you can almost guarantee you are going to get the most perfect fit you've ever had on a Tudor. The way the clasp opens and snaps back in is all down to these ceramic ball bearings, and being that the clasp that touches the ball bearing is titanium, it's not going to wear away. Those satisfying clicks are going to be there for as long as you have the watch. Special. Okay, let's look at the face.
Dial time.
And yes, it's a snowflake dial. And those indices are solid ceramic blocks of super luminova. There aren't frames around it. They're not sunken into the dial. But this really lifts the legibility. That, coupled with the fact that the handset are framed in white, this is a very legible diver. Now, the dial itself, at first glance, is black. And it's the most subtlest sunburst I've ever seen on a dial. But another aspect of this tooly watch that gives it a bit of warmth and a bit more versatility. I, for one, love they've taken away the date window from the 42. You don't really need to know the date when you're going diving, do you? I love the red Pelagos underneath the hand stack. Just giving a little nod to those old Rolex Submariners. This is definitely a more simpler version of the 42, as we no longer have that three-dimensional sloping rehort where the indices sink into. I wasn't that keen on it anyway, and so this is a win for me. All in all, an absolutely gorgeous dial and extremely legible. So we've got lume on the indices, lume on the handset, and lume all over the bezel. Out of 10, let's see how this does in the Lume Flux Challenge. This is a very, very legible diver in dark conditions. What I would say is that it appears that the handset are fading quicker than those ceramic luminous markers. The last thing you want to see when you're underwater is a dial with only the hour markers. But still, it's a very bright and glowy watch. Operating this watch is absolutely phenomenal. From turning the bezel to operating the crown. It's so grippy and the winding is buttery smooth. The engine is an in-house, COSC certified, automatic MT5400. 70 hours of power reserve, 28,800 beats per hour, anti-magnetic, it's got hacking hand winding, and it purrs like a kitten.
Meow. Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and was this watch made for me? The case size, the thickness, the lug to lug, absolutely perfect for me. Including the bracelet, this watch weighs just over 104 grams, and you really don't feel it on the wrist. It's a very strange feeling, almost as if I've got one of my Casios on and not a close to £4,000 watch. Like I said, this is going to take a bit of getting used to for anyone that hasn't had titanium before. Getting it out in the sunlight and you can see that sunburst dial. This is truly, everyone,
something special.
So there we go, the Pelagos 39mm. What do you guys think? With the changes Tudor have made to the Pelagos, from the shaving of the thickness, taking away the helium escape valve, the diameter, lug to lug, and in this monochromatic colour scheme, with the accent of red, they have made a Submariner that Rolex Submariner owners wish that their Rolex would look like. Operating the bezel is the best I've ever twisted. Operating the crown, is the best I've ever twisted, the amazing T-fit clasp, and it's no wonder this watch is so darn popular. Okay, not negatives, but little niggles for me is the clasp, and even though it has that amazing T-fit system, the diver's extension. Get rid of it. You can take at least 8mm off the size of that clasp and not have it so big. That being said, when I had the watch on my wrist, it didn't feel big. It just looks big. Now the price of this watch brand new is £3,850. Fully titanium case, in-house COSC certified high beat movement from a great brand with an awesome history. If you compare it to a brand new Rolex Submariner, I think this is well worth it. And if I had the money, I would definitely get one. There's no question about it. Here it is, my wife's thoughts of the amazing Pelagos 39. Oh. Have you showed me this one before? Yeah, it's okay, but a bit boring. Feel a little depressed now, you know? Where's the watch? Oh, I'm back. Enthusiasm at 10 out of 10. Now, the big question I asked at the start of this show was, is this new Pelagos 39 better than my Black Bay 58? And instead of telling you now, I'm saving it for a show next week. This is my 3rd year of owning the Black Bay 58, and I can't wait to tell you my thoughts on whether you should buy this one or the Pelagos 39. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've watched this far, chances are you like the shows, so why not join and click the button right there? And if I've got you for a few more minutes, why don't you check this show out? Oh, it's magical. The way I've constructed this whole show, it's almost Steven Spielberg-esque. Oh gosh. Go on, click it. Go on, click it. Click it!